In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how I pipe these really cute little baby pumpkins onto the cupcake. I'm using my American buttercream recipe, and I've crumb coated the cupcake with a layer of buttercream in Pro Gel olive green. Now I'm using a 2D piping tip to mark out 3 circles around the cake with the base. So you just touch down onto the cupcake, push it in a little bit to make 3 markers. This helps you to keep your pumpkins nice and round and even on the cupcake. Now I've got a number 10 round piping tip here, and I'm going to start off by piping an orange pumpkin. So just push the buttercream all the way down to the bottom of the bag. Make sure it's nice and tight and that you haven't got too much in it. Now touch down on the outer edge of that circle, squeeze out the buttercream, and as you squeeze, pull it into the center, stop squeezing and come off. Go all the way around the circle, turning the cupcake as you pipe so your piping hand stays in the same place. And then one more in here. And now using the same piping tip, I'm going to put the next colour on. So I'm coming right up to the pumpkin that I've already put on there, so there's no gaps. And I'm going around the outside of that circle. So touch down, push the buttercream outwards, and then bring it into the centre. And as you get to the centre, just stop squeezing and come off. And now the last one, I'm going to come right up to the edge of those other 2 pumpkins and keep turning the cake as you put the last one on. So squeeze and push it out and then pull it into the center. To make the stalks in the center, I'm using a medium size star-shaped tip. This is a Wilton 22. Touch down into the center of your pumpkin. Gently squeeze a small amount out as you lift up a little bit. Stop squeezing and come off. Now around the stalks, I'm going to use a number 2 round piping tip. It's a really small round piping tip to make some little swirls. So I'm going to touch down onto the stalk and then swirl the piping tip as I squeeze, and then stop squeezing and come off. So make them all different lengths and all different shapes. Just a bit of detail in the middle of your little pumpkins. So touch down, swirl and come off. Now I'm going to add some little leaves. This is a PME Super Tube 51, so it's like a tiny little bird's beak leaf tip. You use it in exactly the same way. So you point where you want your leaf to be and the buttercream oozes out the sides. Make sure your pipe and bag is nice and tight and that you haven't got too much buttercream in there. Now point where you want your leaves to be, touch, squeeze and lift, then stop squeezing and come off. So I'm just going to add a couple of leaves around the stalk just to cover up the gaps. You see I'm turning the cupcake and keeping my piping hand still. And I'll pop one more in there. Now to fill in the gaps, I'm going to use the 352 leaf tip or the bird's beak. So you point where you want your leaf to be, the buttercream oozes out the sides. Push all the buttercream down to the bottom, make sure your bag is nice and tight and that you've got that angle where you want it. And then I'm going to hold it parallel to the cupcake, touch down, squeeze and pull, stop squeezing and come off, and you create these lovely little leaves. So touch, squeeze, lift, come off. And there you go, that's how I pipe baby pumpkins onto a cupcake.